Hello guys, today we will be um solving the part 2 of November 2019 business management paper 2 IB exam. So please like and subscribe if you want more videos like that, and comment down below if you want some private tutoring or extra guidance or you have any questions. So let us begin. So we've solved the first exercise. If you don't have that video, then you can go select it. So keep in mind, we're doing everything for the May 2024 syllabus. So don't worry, this is for 2024. All the material here are required for 2024 and are practice for the May 2024 paper 2 exams. So do not worry. So we're going to begin with this question. So it's MWF, that's the business. MWF manufactures and sells window fans to wholesalers across Eastern Africa. Although the business began small, it experienced rapid internal growth. That's a keyword in our syllabus. Through aggressive commission based sales. Currently, MWF sells 300 windows per month. Okay, so these are numbers, we'll do them in red. Per month, so this is also important, per month. Each fan sells at the average price of $100. And here they just gave us fixed costs, very important, fixed costs, and then they gave us a variable cost. So if you don't know what fixed costs are costs that are not affected by like the amount produced. So we have rent, we have insurance, so they basically listed it out, but not changing, let's say, based on production, or like based on amount produced. I just don't want to get you guys confused, so I'm just gonna say does not change based on units produced. I think that's just a better wording, I guess. And then variable costs do change. They're actually proportionate with units produced. They're basically like, in this case, the materials required to actually manufacture the fans. So yeah, that's it basically. So we're gonna discuss those more when they ask us for calculations. But in the first question, they always ask us to define in section A. I'm actually gonna use blue this time, but section A, they always ask us to define. So we're given a definition. So in this case, they ask us to define internal growth. So what is internal growth? Internal growth, I'm just directly begin writing. Internal growth. I just want to explain a bit. So you have two types of growth, guys. I just want to like explain so you guys can really grasp. This is like a revision for your exams. Probably are watching this before your exams. So the growth can either be, this is section 1.5. So if you want to review that, then you can go. I have video for that. External and internal growth. Okay. So this is inorganic and this is organic. What does it mean? What it means is that in this case, they use an internal and organic, they use business resources. Okay. Whereas in which is where in inorganic they use external resources. Okay. So here we can just like talk about organic, slow, steady, whereas external it's faster. And for example, for external, they basically use, it's like acquisitions, mergers, okay, franchises. So this is the difference, okay? But in this case, with MWF, they actually do internal. So internal growth is when a business, in this case, MWF, relies on its own resources and capabilities, in parentheses, existing operations to grow, which is a slightly slow pace instead of using external growth methods such as mergers which use external resources to grow at a faster rate. So here we just have to really pay attention to the action verb. So in this case, the action verb required was defined. So we didn't really have to relate to WF, MWF, I mean. So this, like in this case, WF, this was not necessary, but we actually did really show the examiner that we understand what growth, what internal growth is specifically. So we're really specific. So in this answer, what's good about this answer is that it's specific. Okay, this is what's good about this answer. It's specific. It's detailed, which actually shows that we understand what internal growth is and not what growth is. And it's just not generic. So we show a general understanding, but we're even more precise. So now we're going to continue. Okay, so for question B, we have calculate for MWF the break-even level of output. So for the break-even level of output, it's quite easy. So what they want is that they don't want per unit, they want the total, right? So what we end up doing is that firstly, we know that the formula, but this is not in the formula booklet, guys, so keep that in mind. So break even level of output, okay? It's equivalent to fixed costs over contribution. So this is our formula. And in this case, they were nice enough to actually give us the whole table for fixed costs. So here we just have to add the fixed costs. So fixed costs are equivalent to 36,000 plus 9,000 plus 19,000 plus 48,000 plus 18,000, right? So I'm just gonna calculate them, guys. Just give me a minute. Okay, so here, just gonna begin calculating. So we get $130,000, and it's preferable that you actually write the currency. Actually, not preferable, it's necessary because some examiners will not be pleased with that. And now we did the fixed cost part. Now we actually do the contribution. So for the contribution, so we do know that the contribution is basically price minus variable cost. So remember, guys, I'm just gonna explain now, but the price is 100 minus 55 plus 5, because these are our variable costs. So we have 100 minus 60 equals $40. Okay, so here we have 130,000 over 40 is equivalent to, I'm gonna just calculate this. Okay, so it's equivalent to 3,250 fans or units. You can guys say which one you want, but fans and units both work. So yeah, that's what we did. So I just want to give you a tip that generally most, if not all the time, every single number they give you, so whether it's the $100, which is the price, whether it's the costs, fixed costs, variable costs, you will use them somewhere in your case. So just keep that in mind. Not to stress you out, but just like that's a tip. So B number 2, um, construct a fully labeled the scale break-even chart. So this is a bit long, but you know what we're gonna do it. I'm gonna teach you a trick because guess what? When I first learned this, I was confused. I won't lie, I was pretty confused. So I'm just gonna teach you a tip. So first, what you begin by doing is that you just draw just a really, 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 really big graph. Okay, this is what you begin by doing, but this is not just what you do. You end up doing a table. I think this is just a really, really, really good method. I really like this method. So you just do this. My teacher, I think, taught it to me, but anyways, so here you have fixed or just fixed cost, just write the abbreviations, variable cost, total revenue or total costs first, and then total revenue. Okay, and I'm just gonna like, this is a really good way also for just to help you really revise. So I'm just gonna use like these greens. So fixed costs, we know them. We calculate our total fixed cost. So in this case, it's just 130,000. We'll write that down later. Variable costs, they're just um, variable cost per unit times quantity, let's say. And then total cost is just fixed cost plus variable cost. And total revenue is price times quantity. Okay, so this is it. I'm just gonna make this lower in case I need more space. Oh, okay. Great. And now we're just gonna write down, I'm just gonna do this in different colors so you guys can see that the fixed cost is actually 130,000 for all of them. Okay, so just keep in mind this is because you don't have to, you can show you're working, but it's really not like necessary, I guess. But yeah, and you already, I guess, calculate the break-even output, which is 3,250. So just keep that in mind. So now we're going to first put our X and Y axis. So our X axis is basically costs, revenues. I'm just gonna put this revenues under. And then we have quantity here. Okay. So for quantity, just always make sure your number is kind of neat. So it has to like fit in sort of with 3,250. So I'm just gonna find something that's divisible to that, or I'm just gonna like put something that's close to it. Or you know what? I think since the contribution is 40, guys, I'm gonna think of a way and then just like end up doing it. But I think I'm just gonna like do every 500. I'm really not sure. So we're just gonna do, because you really you choose your scales in the new syllabus. I don't think you choose a scale because this is what they put for you in the specimen paper, but again, you don't know. So I'm just gonna begin for every 500. So oh, here you can also add for this table, guys, just add quantity. Okay, this is perfect. So quantity is 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So this is for the first one. I'm actually just gonna make them the lighter blue. Sorry guys, I'm very OCD at times. I think this blue, yeah, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. And then for let's say the quantity, let's say is, I'm just gonna say something divisible by 3,250. I think that's just the neatest way. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna do like 600. So 600 and then 1,200 and then 1,800 and then 2,400 and then 3,000, and I think like that's it, and then like 4,200. I'm gonna do more. So then the fixed cost stays the same for all of them, and that's where we're gonna talk about it later. And then the variable cost, it's going to be 600. So this is gonna be 600 times 60, and that's how we're gonna get our answer. Okay, since that's our variable cost, so that's 36,000, 36,000, yes. Okay. And then we do the same, we want just multiply it by 2 in this case. So it becomes 72,000 for when it's 1,200. I'm just gonna check, but this is basically it, just to make sure that your work is always correct and you don't get carried away. So yeah, that's correct. And then you just do 60 times 1,800. So 108,000 in this case. And then you just do again 600 or 60, sorry, 60 by 2,400. Then 144,000. And then you just do it 60 times 3,000. 180,000. And then you do the last one 60 times 4. Okay. So here you get 252,000. Okay. So guys, I think the video is going to be quite long just because I'm really going step by step here. And then for total cost, we just have to add each one by 130,000, I guess. So that's like our only option. Yeah, so then we add 36,000. So here we have 166,000. I'm just gonna like double check because usually in exams, that's what you do. You end up double checking everything. Yeah, so it's 166. Then we do 130 by plus 72,000. So we get 202,000. Then we do 130 plus 108,000. So that's 248,000, I guess. And if you want to make this easier and like not waste time, you can just put the first digits without the thousands. I think that's like just the easiest option. Yeah, oh, see, that's 138,000. Never mind. See, that was a stupid mistake. Then 130 plus 144,000. So that's 274,000. Then 130 plus 180,000. I guess it's 210,000. So I'm just gonna like do it again. Oh, see, that's 310,000. I keep making mistakes, but yeah. And then 130 plus 152,000. I guess that's 382, but I'm just gonna check. Okay, that's 382,000. So you see, we got all our digits. Then we have to end up multiplying the price by the quantity. So here the price is 100, right? So 100 times 600. Okay, so this is easy. So this is just like 60,000, I guess. Yeah. So 60,000. I forgot a zero. 60,000. And 102,000. So I guess it's 120,000. Yeah, 120,000. And then that's 180,000. And then that's 240,000. And that's 300,000. And then that's for 20,000. Okay, so got it. So this is basically all you have to do. So now we have to label our axes. And since we did the quantity all by 600, then we just start by doing like writing 600, 1,200, 1,800, 2,400, 3,000, and 4,200. So you can end up making um your like chart way smaller because I think I made it too big. So we're just gonna move these here. Okay, perfect. And then for the costs, we can also make them kind of smaller. So I think this is quite easier. Let's put costs and revenues here. Perfect. And then we end up just filling the costs and revenues. So I'm just gonna start off with I think approximately, just because 420,000 is our last one. So we can just do by like 60,000. So 60,000 and then 120,000. Then like I think that's yeah, 180,000. Then we have to continue. So we just do like 240,000, I guess. And then we end up going with 300,000, and then we go with 420,000, or yeah, or 360,000, and then we go with 420,000. Okay, so this is really it. So then for the fixed cost, I'm just gonna like start doing them with colors so you guys really get it. I'm just gonna do this in this bright orange. Fixed cost, since it's 130,000, so it's just a bit above 120, we do the straight line. Okay, so this is not, yeah, to make it like this, we need to make it neat for examiner. And then we label it FC, so fixed cost. Fixed costs are always just a straight horizontal line, just because fixed costs are actually not proportional to quantity, which is why they are always horizontal. Quantity produced, okay? So this is why they're always horizontal. And then we have to go with variable cost. So variable cost, they always start from zero because sometimes we produce at zero. So you always start it from zero. So in this case, we have 36,000 at the beginning. So this is slightly above the middle here. Then we have 72,000, so slightly above here. Then we have 108,000, so slightly above here. Then we have 144,000, so just slightly here. And then we have 180,000, which is basically right here. And then we have 252, which is basically slightly above here. So these are our variable costs. Okay, just they don't have to really be this perfect, but just make sure they look neat in the exam. So these variable costs. And then you have total costs. Those total costs, they have to start here. So we're just gonna like do this here. So total costs, they have to start at the fixed cost because it's fixed cost plus variable cost. So always keep that in mind. So for total costs, we have 166,000. So at the beginning, so 166 is here. Then we have 202, so it's really here. Then we have 238, which is almost at 240. Then we have 274, which is really just above here. Then we have 310, so just above 310. And then we have 382, which is here. So this is our total cost. And then for lastly, we have total revenue. Total revenue, we're gonna do it in like a purple shade. Total revenue begins from zero because again, quantity can be zero sometimes because again, quantity can be zero. So then we start at 60,000, which is right here. We continue at 120,000, which is right here. We continue at 180,000, which is right here. And then 240,000, and then 300,000, and then 420,000. Okay, so it's right here. So it's quite steeper as you can see. But now we have, just need to make this longer slightly. I'm going to make this longer slightly. So now here I'm going to mark it in red. We have our break-even point. Okay. Our break-even point is slightly earlier. So our break-even point is, as we just calculated, 3,250 units, right? So it's just somewhere here. Okay, just like when these two intersect, but it's somewhere here. So here is break even point 3,250 units. Okay, so this is really how you do it. And not only that, but if you want to even make it better, this area is like, I'm gonna make this in like this color. Margin of safety. I'm gonna explain margin of safety now. Okay, so this is really it. But I think that the lines just need a bit of coordination, but just because it's like see, for example, just a second, guys. Okay, I need to make this stroke. I think this should have been just a bit steeper. So just give me a second, guys. Let's start it off here. Let me do it here. Yeah, see? Okay, no. So it's just because it won't make it, let it be perfect, but basically this is it. So this is where they truly intersect. So here we have the red because I felt like it wasn't really right. Even though I knew like the work was right, I just felt like it wasn't really right. So here we're just gonna like fix it just a bit. Again, my OCD. But here we just make it. Make sure you make these with a ruler in the exam, guys. 3,250. Okay, so this is the break-even point. This is the margin of safety, guys. See, this can be quite messy for a student. So now I'm just going to explain margin of safety really quickly so we can continue. But yeah, so what is the margin of safety? So I'm just going to like go here, I guess, and explain margin of safety in purple. Or we just go down. So margin of safety is basically and when quantity produced is greater than break even output, because again at break even output total cost equal to total revenue, so we have zero profit. So here profit equals zero. Therefore margin of safety, the profit will always be positive. No, yeah, so basically in this case, our quantity, our break even output is 3,250 units, right? So any digit above, so any number greater than 3,250 will be part of it. So basically 3,500, the margin of safety will be 250. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here, 250. So basically margin of safety equals current output minus break-even output. When the margin of safety is positive, business is making a profit. When it is negative, business is making a loss. Okay, so this is it, guys. But this is like the lesson for margin of safety. So basically, this is it. So for margin of safety to be positive, for the business to be, so this is when business is profitable. Okay. So in the case of MWF, anything greater than 3,250 units is margin of safety, because they will be making profit, which will make the business safe. So this is technically like, it has to do with the word, but this is the lesson, guys. Okay, so yeah. And then we're gonna be solving the last question. So let's go back to the blue. So 3. They say, calculate the profit if MWF sells 3,600 windows window fans in like 2020. Okay, so sells 3,600 windows fans in 2020, right? So what we have to do is that we actually have to check the profit, right? This is what they want, the profit. So we have profit equals total revenue minus total cost. Okay, so total revenue is equal to price times, okay, so I'm gonna just write so you guys can get the price times quantity. So our price is 100, our quantity they give to us 3,600. Oh, sorry, 3,600. So here we just have, I'm guessing like 360,000. Yeah, so we have $360,000. Okay, now our total cost is fixed costs plus a variable cost. So already explained what these are, but basically our fixed cost, they calculated them, they're like 130,000 plus a variable cost. In this case, we have to change them. So it's basically variable cost is quantity times variable cost. So here in this case, we have 130,000 plus quantity is 3,600 times 60, because these are variable costs, 55 plus 60, these are the variable costs. So here we do 1,300 plus 3,600 times 60. So we have 216,000. So here we just add 130,000. $346,000. And here our total revenue minus total cost, we literally have to subtract 360,000 by 346. So we're gonna make this bigger. 346,000. So we get $14,000. So we have a profit. This is our profit. And guys, keep in mind here, so we're gonna go back to the margin of safety, because we have that 3,600 is greater than our break-even quantity, which is 3,250. Okay, so our margin of so this is why profit is positive. So you should directly know before even solving this question that profit will be positive because this is larger than the break-even output. So margin of safety is equal to 3,600 minus 3,250. So our margin of safety is, I guess, 350 units. Okay. So this is basically the lesson for margin of safety as well. So this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Please like and subscribe for more. And if you're interested in private tutoring, then please go ahead and comment down below so we can like get in contact. This is it, guys. If you have any questions or if you have any specific papers you want me to solve, please comment down below. Thank you so much for watching and please like. Bye bye.